6'5".
Let's watch this video and let me know what you think about it.
Hey, South Dallas. Now Dallas. Already 214, baby.
I want to make sure we get an accurate introduction. First of all, before we get into the show, I want to thank you so much, Lateris, for coming on the podcast. Anybody, if y'all know the Dear Future Wifey podcast, you know my man Lateris. Lateris, they said you were auntie approved. That's what they said earlier. What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Ace Metaphor, and this is the Tonight's Conversation podcast, live in Dallas. Make some noise! We have our first question at the mic. What's your name? What's your question?
My name's DC.
Go ahead.
So my question is, how do you tell your spouse in a nice way that they need to like take care of themselves or you're leaving?
Take care of yourself like how? If we talking about a hygiene thing? Let me tell you something, ladies. Do not be scooting that thing on me you just did the tube. You come into bed with the bonnet on, you just worked out, you didn't shower. My point is, I can see that right now. We want to talk to, it's the physical part or it's a mental part? Physically taking care of himself or mentally?
He stinks.
No,
okay.
No, it's not my partner, by the way.
All right, but we're talking about taking care of yourself how?
So it definitely comes with like hygiene and just like
wash your ass.
And
now, can I, Donnie? Would you feel some type of way if your significant other was like, because they wanted to do it tactfully? Hey, you know what I think would be romantic? Let's shower together. And you like, all right, cool. And then this nigga start soaping up the rag and he start really getting in there.
He's scrubbing.
He's scrubbing.
Okay.
Would you be offended that way or would you want him just to tell you that it's a little tart?
So, no, I'm gonna think that's sexy if we're in the shower and he's washing me and he didn't preface it with anything around a hygiene issue. So I wouldn't recommend that you mask it, right? You gotta be direct, otherwise you'll be washing his behind every day. If you don't wanna wash his behind every day, you gotta tell him like, hey, I'm not sure. You know, sometimes as we get older, our hormones start changing. Yours probably changed.
So, you know one of the things, Trill, that I learned when I turned 35? That you gotta lift and get under the balls. I learned that. That was the thing. I used to neglect this.
It took you to 35 to learn that?
Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. All
because
right.
they do that at 10, right?
Hey.
35? So your balls been stinking for 35 years?
Hey, it took, doctor, this is a 3 p.m. show. I shouldn't say this. It took me until I had found a woman that licked gooch. And she was like, you should watch that. You should watch that. You should watch. All right, let's go serious. Kitty, when we're talking about marriage though, and we're talking about maybe somebody starting to let themselves go, they stop putting the attention into the relationship, but not just to you, but to themselves. Maybe they stop working towards their dreams, their goals. Maybe they lost a little ambition in life. What do you do if you're at that point where you do feel like, hey man, something needs to change or I need to leave?
I'm gonna be real. You really have to humanize your partner. We romanticize our partners a lot, and we expect them to always be perfect in the process. People go through things. People have mental challenges. People go through depression and things like that, and they start to neglect themselves. They lose that motivation, and sometimes they just become complacent, and it feels like we really don't have to grow. We've been okay here. It's all about communication. You have to be willing to have those hard, uncomfortable conversations. That's the only way that your marriage or any relationship is going to grow. I know a lot of times we try to protect our significant other's feelings, but you can't do that. I'm not saying to talk to them disrespectfully. I want you to be assertive with what you need to communicate your needs, but also say things out of love. I always say whenever you're speaking to your spouse, you're speaking in a way to edify them, not to tear them down, not to break them down. So once you remember that this person is a human, I'm going to tell you that, hey, who you were 6 months ago is completely different from who you are now. Is there anything that's going on with you right now? Anything you want to talk about? And if it's something like if it's my needs not being met, I'll tell you what it is and how I feel about it. But in that whole process, communication, that's going to be your biggest thing. Be willing to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Trill, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to set precedent for communication early in a relationship. I think we be in relationships with people and we do everything except set that. You understand what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, like, if I have an issue with something, let's come to the table and talk about it early. So 6 months in, when I have an issue with something, we come to the table and talk about it. 10 years married, I have an issue with something, we come to the table and talk about it. So when I say that, it's not jarring, it's not alarming. But I think a lot of people skip that part. Oh, I'm gonna just let that slide. Oh, I ain't really tripping on the fact he don't take baths. I ain't really tripping on the fact that he still wear Juke cologne. These things is all good. Like, I'm gonna let that slide, right? When that should have been communicated right from the door. So I think that's the issue. But going from where you are now is just ripping the Band-Aid off, baby. I'm gonna be honest. Like, sometimes you gotta hurt people's feelings in order to get them to change the way that you need them to change.
Before I get to you, because I have to ask this question. When is good timing? Because I know timing is important. Let's pretend you down there. And it's a little, you know what I mean? Do you say something then? Do you complete it? Then you say something. When are we saying this? Are we stopping everything? Hey, go wash your ass right now? Or are we going through the process? What are we doing? What are we doing?
I think that smell comes through a lot earlier than when you get the drawers off or the pants off. And I think at that point, you got to throw in a little wrench in the system and finesse your way out of it before I have to hurt your feelings in that drastic of a way. We can have a conversation in a mature way later, but if I done got all the way past the pants or the tights y'all be wearing, the little boy shorts, I done got all the way there, you got to go ahead and see it through, my boy.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's you had a thought.
Well, I was going to echo on the original thing that you asked Kitty. One of the first things that God gave Adam was his helper. He said, I will give you a suitable helper. And so when we take these vows, we have to take these vows understanding that we are in each other's lives to make them better, that we are mirrors reflecting the negative, the positive in each other. And if we handle marriage correctly, that as we go through this maturation phase of marriage, that we become our best selves. And so don't take those vows unless you're willing to allow yourself to be judged by the closest person to you and know that they're not doing it for ill-gotten gains. They're not doing it to be negative. They're in your life to make you better.
Dr. Cheyenne?
Yeah, I love that, Lateris. And to add to that, I was going to say that because when you're talking to your partner about things that are sensitive, you want to wrap it up in love and you want to have compassion. This is still your partner. This is still who you want to respect, and they're a reflection of you, right? So if you demise them, you're demising yourself. As you build them up, you build you up. It's a mirror. And I like to use what I call a disarming sandwich technique. The bread are positive affirmation. The meat is exactly what you're trying to say. So it looks like, baby, you know I love you. And I love spending time with you, and I love our relationship, and I want to make sure I'm always respectful and honoring you when I say this. Recently I've noticed that there's been some things that have been slipping within your hygiene. Those things that's the meat. They are X, Y, and Z, meat. Right? It's the meat, literally. Right? But then, right, so the first sandwich is being positive. You disarmed him. You give him the meat. This is the issue. And you close it up with some empowerment, which is the last piece of the bread, the sandwich effect. And so I love you. If there's anything I can do that I can help you move into a better place with your hygiene or whatever you need help with, let me know, tag me, and I got you. I'm your partner. This is a collective thing that y'all do together. I always say, once couples realize that the problem is outside of them and not them, then you have a we solving a problem. You don't have you two looking at each other as the problem, because when two people look at each other as the problem, now you're at war. But if you disarm each other and you say, baby, no, we have a problem, no matter who brought the problem to the relationship, we got something we got to solve outside of us, because the ship will sail as long as the water stays outside of the ship.
Now, I hate to be this guy. Here's my issue. My issue is, oftentimes by the time somebody has the courage enough to come ask this question, they done tried all that. Maybe they've tried or attempted to do all the nice things. Maybe they may have went to therapy, maybe, and then they get to a point where, okay, this person is who they are. And then maybe I no longer have the capacity to be with this person you turned into, because oftentimes it's not who you married that you're disappointed with, it's the person that they've allowed themselves to become. And then now you feel like you can't elevate because now this is somebody dragging you down now. And it's supposed to be your partner, and I get it, right? We one flesh, but that part of my flesh, It's a thorn. It's you the thorn inside the flesh of the flesh. I don't know. And so I guess my question is, what if you were at that point where this person has clearly made the choice that they're not going to elevate, and you've maybe exhausted the grace that you did have?
But see, those vows that we took, we said for better or for worse. You're in that worst season right now. And so don't take these vows if you're not gonna go. So we get married and we say for richer. We say for better. We say all the positive. We don't never say for the worse, for the poor. And so when we face those moments in our vows, that's just the process. And I hear so many couples that when they've been able to weather through that storm, that's what made their marriage stronger. And so God allows us to go through certain trials in our life to refine us and make us better and make our marriage even stronger. And so don't take those vows if you're not willing to go to that worst.
And I think also a lot of those traits that we don't like now was there right when we met them. But it's just we look past them. It just wasn't as important at that point, right? But you just swept it under the rug and swept it under the rug and swept it under the rug until the rug had no more room. Now I'm ready to explode, you know what I mean, and down you. But these are traits that been there. So we got to be honest with the person that's in front of us and stop seeing people for potential instead of who actually standing in front of you.
I mean, but how long is the season? And what do you expect me to do in this season? Are you still wanting me to be physically active with you in this season? Is that this is an absolute deal breaker for me. Now, if we're going through a season, because we respect the vows of marriage, if we're going through a season, we're going to talk about it, and it looks like you are willing to make adjustments, we can work with that. But if you intend for me to show up as your wife, as your partner, you want me to respect your needs, then this is mutual. You also have to respect my needs. I think when people present themselves to you, it also shows how much they respect you, in addition to how much they respect themselves. If we're not married, poor hygiene for me is a deal breaker because it's one of my core values. And this is going back to choosing the right partner out of the gate, making sure that the things that are absolute deal breakers for you are also absolute deal breakers for them. But you're not gonna approach me and just learn how to wash the underneath and think that I'm gonna still go down there and satisfy you and I'm supposed to deal with it because we took a vow. No.
Well, so hold on. So here's the thing.
Okay.
When you wash it right here, right, you in the shower.
Yeah.
The water
Absolutely
is
not.
rinsing down.
After 34 years.
Hold on, Trill.
Absolutely
I know. Let me fucking finish. What I'm saying is you're washing, everything, right?
And you were switching
then
your
the
legs
water
together.
is bringing the soap to the crevices. It's bringing the soap.
Ladies, you do not have to settle for that.
Okay, all right. Hey, listen. Hey, thank you for your question. Hey, I will say this. Dallas, I wash my ass. That was a joke, obviously, right? You guys, ha, right? Ha. Come on, ha. It was a joke. We all know that. I wash my ass. All right. No, I get everything. Hey, I told y'all in Atlanta, them hotel rags be fucking me up, though. You ever wash with a hotel, them white ass rags they got?
They will humble you.
They'll humble the fuck out of you. You be like, nigga. Hey, I be feeling bad for the housekeeper, because they gotta come get that shit. And then they judging you. They looking like, dirty ass.
That must be a man problem, because only you and Laterris are agreeing. That's a man problem.
Yeah, man. Cause
My towels are still white.
My towel's still white.
No, I'm talking about the wash rag.
The wash rag is still
I am also
white.
talking about the wash rag.
I work out every day.
Now you just need you got a stinky ass like that lady's husband up here.
Hey, I don't know. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Bryce. I kind of have a two-part question. The first question is, do men want to be approached by women, or should we let them make the first move? And if they do want to be approached by women, what are some acceptable ways to approach a man?
Laterris, I had watched a podcast of you recently. What do you think about this question?
So what God gave me, I'm old school, right? So I say a man should pursue and not persuade, and a woman should present and not pursue. And so it breaks my heart every time I see these videos where these women are getting down on one knee and proposing to a dude. I don't even know how to receive nothing like that. I don't know if I'm supposed to wear my ring and do the Beyonce thing. I don't know how do you transition into that? I don't know. And so I'm more old school. I'm old school in the way of, back in the day, they would drop the handkerchief. And a man would come behind them and pick up the handkerchief and say, "Excuse me, miss, you dropped this." And she did it on purpose to get his attention and so that they can engage in conversation. And in social media, we have the proverbial handkerchief where people can leave a comment under your post or whatnot, or put the little eye emoji and all that. However you want to drop your proverbial handkerchief, that's up to you. But me personally, from an old school mindset, I believe that, if you want the hunter, first of all, let me ask you, how many of y'all would y'all rather be pursued by a man or would you rather be the one pursuing? Which one? Pursued, so there it is. And so the very thing that you desire is the very thing that you should stand on business about. And so, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't, smile at a guy. Like when you out at a restaurant, smile, make eye contact, engage him, use all your feminine energy to draw him to you. But I'm old school, Ace. I believe that.
Did you have a concurring thought or a counter thought? Because before I get to my counter thought, I want to go ahead, Trill, because I got some shit I need to say. Go ahead.
I think that, if we're gonna be honest, you hook most men up to a lot to take the test. When you pursue us, we lose a little bit of respect for you. We do. I think that the easier it is to get you, the less privileged we feel to be there. It's kind of like having a car, right? Like you get a car for free, right? You're gonna drive that motherfucker reckless. You're gonna pull up and try to get the closest spot possible. I don't care if it's this much space next to your car, the next car. You driving it reckless as hell. But when you go pay for the car yourself, and you had to really work to get it. I had to save up. I had to do all of these things to get this car, and I finally got this car that I always wanted. If the spot is too close, I'm parking at the back of the lot and I'm walking. I'm going to go watch that car every week. Sometimes 2-3 times a week, depending on what I got planned that weekend. You understand what I'm saying? But I say all that to say, when you work for things, you have a different type of appreciation for it. But if you just do 99% of the work, I lose a little bit of respect for you.
That wasn't her question. What was your question? Can you read it one more time?
The question is, do men want to be approached by women, or should we let men make the first move?
Approached. This is the issue that I have. Oftentimes, we make it to where a woman is being fucking thirsty just by, making that approach, shooting her shot. Now, that doesn't mean you keep shooting where there's no interest, but I wouldn't say to a guy to keep shooting where there's no interest. King, know your worth. Know your worth. Present yourself, king. Know your worth. And because here's the word I want everybody to leave with. Reciprocate. Brothers, you can make the first step, make sure she makes the second. You make the third, she makes the fourth. If you see a man that piques your interest, listen, let me tell you something. Out of all the dusty niggas you see one undusty nigga. And all you gonna do is just give him one of these? No, so listen, and can I be for real with y'all? Is it cool if I have a real conversation with y'all? And I'm gonna just say this, it's 30 more seconds and I'm gonna let y'all tap in. A lot of people that's gonna be having this conversation, I'm not talking about the women on the stage, I'm just saying in general, they may have that pretty privilege. They may have that. Like, let's call a spade a spade. I'm a man that's 5'9". I don't have height privilege. I might have to work a little bit. But anyway, I might need to work a little bit harder to get somebody's attention. If you know that you are a woman and maybe you are that looker and all you gotta do is give a look, cool. But if you're somebody that has a personality, don't cut that off. If you somebody that got infectious energy, don't cut that part of your ability to attract a man off. And shooting your shot or approaching a man is just sparking the conversation, and that man gets to see, oh, you know what? She cool. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm gonna let y'all go, but she didn't say whether she should pursue a man. She just said shoot a shot. What was your opinion?
Shoot a shot is the same thing as pursuing, baby. First of all. Second of all, men are hunters. Men are hunters, okay? We are to put ourselves as women in the position to be hunted. What I do want to say is this. A man hunting you, pursuing you, doesn't mean that we stay prey and run forever and ever and just make him become exhausted and drained. I think what happens is we as women have to learn, when do we let him catch us? That's what I do want to say. It's a duality, reciprocity. The reciprocity looks like this. He hunts, he pursues, you realize he's doing it, you give off a pheromone, you give off a look, you give off a yes, you give him the green light, and he puts on his track shoes, baby, and he runs that damn race. And then when you realize he's running hard enough, that's up to your standards, you stop and you say, baby, I'm caught. We can move to the next level. But until then, that's all you need to do when it comes to a woman's pursuing or a woman's, what did you say?
Can I ask you a tough question?
Go ahead. Oh, Lord. What?
Do you think the way you look has anything to do with your perspective? Let's call it a spade a spade. Let's call it a spade. Do you think the way you look leads to your perspective?
You've already called me a spade, and I agree.
Okay,
yes, I do think that, but hold on. I don't think that if a woman is not, in your words, beautiful, pretty, privileged, because I do agree there's pretty privilege, there's black privilege, there's sexy privilege, there's all kinds of privilege. We just got to figure out what our personal privilege is, and you run that play. Everybody has a privilege, and looks may not be yours. Maybe gift of the gab is, maybe you're sexy, maybe you can dress. So, yes, but what I'm saying is use that, but you don't use that to pursue a man. You don't use that to approach a man. You can give an eye contact, that means yes. He ain't saying
Dr.
that,
Bryant.
y'all. Nope.
Dr. Bryant.
Nope, don't start with me, Ace.
Are you hearing what you're saying?
Yes.
We agree.
Eye contact, but don't approach this man. No.
Well,
No.
I'm not mad at walking by twice.
That's a walk by though, sis. They ain't an approach. You can walk by
I'm not
into
mad at
walk
just,
by
you know what I
into it.
mean? Like,
Yes.
okay, and I'm gonna go back.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not mad at the walk by twice. I'm also not mad at the I'm sorry, can I get a napkin from right there?
But that's throwing pheromones. You still ain't approached him.
This is the approach. So as a woman, first of all, you have to identify the type of man that you like, right? Not every man will receive being approached by a woman. It makes them feel feminine. And then there are other men who desire to be approached by women because maybe they shoot shots and they're afraid of rejection and they don't know what your next move is going to be, so they welcome you. It doesn't bother them either way. The type of men that I typically go for don't want me to approach them. They're going to say no every single time. Just like there's pretty privilege, there's also pretty disadvantage though, right? There's a group of people who will treat you differently just because they think that you walk around with pretty privilege all day long. And so you have to make sure that we are a little bit more approachable. We're smiling. Like, I approach people all the time. You know what I mean? I see you. I see you seeing me. Hey. That's my way of approaching you. I'm going to let you know that I am open for your approach. And then the bottom line is we are women. We are just girls. Our wrists are broken when it comes to being around men. You let a man pursue you because that is their innate nature to pursue you. And you want to feel like a woman. You never want it to be thrown back in your face like, oh, well, you were the one who came up to me. And you threw it at me. So I just said, yeah, I'm not going to turn it down. I'm not going to say no. You deserve to be pursued. Those guys who want you running after them, run away from them.
Thank you. Hold on. Thank you. Clap it up. And thank you for your question. We're not going to belabor this point. I just want to say this. If it's been working for you, cool. But clearly, it might not have been working for you. And now you're looking for different things. I'm saying some of you guys are dating with one hand behind your back because you're not using your best abilities to attract a man. Let me tell you this, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm not trying to stereotype here, but I'm gonna just speak generally, give me grace. Sometimes you'll find as a man that a woman that may not be the traditional standard of beauty looker, this is a woman you can actually have deep conversations with. This is a woman that will do this, that, and the other for you. And here's the thing, a lot of men yearn for that, but oftentimes because we are judging books by covers and we're responding based off of how somebody looks, we're not meeting those type of women. And so if both parties are doing that, you are expecting to attract me just off your looks and then be mad when a nigga look at you like an object. You'll be like, man, just think about it. And so I'm saying, sparking a conversation, using your best attractive quality will help that man see you as somebody he wants to respond to. But just trust me, everybody not a supermodel. And I've been in my body all my life. I've never been the nigga.
And stinky balls for 34 years.
I've never been walking down the street and then a woman's head did this. I know my fucking limitations. I'm gonna have to come up to you, say a joke and shit like, what's up? I'm amazing. How you doing? You come here all the time. I'm gonna have to work it. That's the nigga I am.
But everybody doesn't know what their attraction piece is.
But if you ain't attracting nobody, you might want to try some new shit. Dude, we got a new question to the mic. Cause I mean, if you ain't, cause here's the thing, and then and I say this every show because it's paramount. You said, you know, it takes the work to be found is not passive. But we say it as if women take it as if it's a passive act. He who finds a wife as if he is the only person searching. But being in places where people are looking, because here's the thing, oftentimes we'll say that, but all you do is stay in your motherfucking house. So how can anybody find you in the first place?
Or frequent the same places that have the same people.
Guilty.
And so to say this, just spark more conversations. If you know your personality, and you should hope that your personality is the best part of you. You should hope it's your character. I want that to be more on display, and quit overly relying on just what you look like physically, because you might just attract men that's interested in you physically.